Hello everyone, thanks for coming back to my channel. Hope you guys are all doing okay. So I haven't posted a video in a while, so if you guys didn't remember the last video that I released, we went over conditionals. So specifically, you remember in that video we talked about how we can make decisions in our code, and we saw three examples of that using if statements. So we went over the if statement, we went over the if else statement, and lastly we went over the if else if statement. So in this video, we will be expanding upon conditionals more, and we will take a look at how we can perform decision making in our code using the switch statement, which in some cases would be a viable alternative to the if statements that we've looked at in the previous video. Okay, so let's dive right into it. A switch statement is, again, like I said, just another way for us to perform decisions or make decisions in our code. So one thing about programming, and as you get more acquainted with programming and more familiar, um, you'll see that you'll quickly come to realize that there are many ways that you can do the exact same thing. And this is especially true for um, making conditions in your code. There's like a couple of ways that you can do it, but the two main ones are using the if statements and the switch statement. So the switch statement has some similarities with the if else if statement that we looked at, because it gives you a way of um, accounting for multiple conditions, right? So let's actually, before we even look at the syntax for the structure for a switch statement, let's see how we can perform multiple conditions using the if else if statement. And then what we'll do is, after that, we will do the same thing but using the switch statement. Okay, so let's um let's just start out, right? So I'm going to declare a const variable, and if you remember correctly, const basically just means that once we've initialized this variable to a value, we will no longer be able to change that value, right? So these are hopefully all things that you guys are familiar with if you've watched any of my previous videos or read any of the articles for those videos. Okay, so I'm going to create a variable here, and I'm going to call it color, and I'm going to set it to initial value of black, which is my favorite color, by the way. So let's create this if else if statement, right? So if you remember how to create an if statement, we start with the if keyword, and parentheses we specify the condition. So let's say, okay, if color is equal to red, then let's do something, right? In this case, we're going to be using the same approach that we've been using in the past videos, where we are simply just going to be outputting text to the console, right? So, and the way we do that is, if you remember, we do console.log, and then anything in the parentheses that anything that we put in this parentheses will be printed to the console. So in this case, I'm going to say like my favorite color is red. Okay, so let's add the else if clause. So else if the color equals pink, we're going to do the same thing. So console.log, my favorite color is pink. Actually, let's change this to your. Okay, and then let's just add the default else block, and we're just going to add another console.log, and we're just going to say, I don't know what your favorite color is. Okay, so I just went very quickly through this because we already went over this in depth in the previous video. So the if else if statement gives us the ability to have multiple conditions, right? So in the first condition, we are checking if color is equal to red, If it is, we will print out your favorite color is red. In the second condition, we are checking if color is equal to pink, then we'll console out log, your favorite color is pink. If no condition has been met, then the default block will be executed, which is the else clause, and we will simply output, I don't know what your favorite color is, right? So being that color is black, we don't expect to have any of these conditions to result to true, because we're checking for red, we're checking for pink, we're not checking for black, so we should get the default else block code to execute. So if we run this, we get I don't know what your favorite color is, okay? But let's just say we want the else if clause to run, then we just change the condition so that we get a true, so that this condition resolves to true. So in this case, just this block will now execute. Your favorite color is black. Oh, I spelled it wrong. Okay, it should be black. Now we get your favorite color is black, okay? But that's beside the point of this video. I just wanted to show you guys, okay, this is one way of how we can do perform decision making in our code. But for the main focus of this video, we want to look at the second way, which is using the switch statement. So let me just, I will be doing like this same condition checking, but using the switch statement now, okay? So let me just type it out as always, and then I'll explain it, right? So let me just type out the structure of what we're going to be doing here, and then I will explain exactly what's going on here. So color, case, red. Okay, so I will stop typing here and begin explaining. And then after that, I will finish typing out the rest, okay? So for the switch statement, we begin by typing or using typing the switch keyword. And then we have these parentheses. Now within these parentheses will go what is usually referred to as the expression or the input of the condition. So this will be the value that will be used in all of the following conditions that will be specified within the switch statement. And the way we specify these conditions is by using this case clause over here, or this case statement, right? So this the way we do this is that within the switch statement, after we have our parentheses, we want to declare the body of the switch statement. So the way we do that is by using these pair of curly braces, so an opening and closing curly braces. And then in the body of the switch statement is where we will start checking for potential matches, right? And the way we do that is by using the case statement. So we start by typing out the case keyword, and then we have here the condition, right? So the way it works is that color, if you remember, is set to black. So what will happen here is that this is basically going to check if color equals to red, then we will console.log your favorite color is red. Okay, so again, we have the case keyword followed by the condition that we want to test for, or against the expression, right, or the input. So is color equal to red? If it is, then we will console.log your favorite color is red. And then the next thing to know here is this break keyword. So this is basically saying that, okay, if we get to this point and we've outputted your favorite color is red, what will happen here is that the execution of your code will exit out of the switch statement, and any other code outside of the switch statement will be executed, right? So the execution will exit the switch statement, and if you have any other code defined after the switch statement, then that code will be executed. So let's now account for um, the condition where we're checking if the color is equal to black. So let's come here, let's do case. So what value do we want to check for against the input? So in this case, it will be, over here, it will be black. And then what we'll do is we'll just do the console.log. Your favorite color instead of red will be black. Now, how do we account for the default? Like, okay, in the if statement, we have like this default else clause that we can use to run any code if no previous condition has been met. We can do the same thing in the switch statement, but by doing so in what is called the, wait, is this? The default case. So to do that, we just type the keyword default, right, colon, and then anything that we place within the default case block will be executed if no prior match or no prior condition has resolved to true, right? So this is the structure of the switch statement. It is completely different from the way you define an if statement, but the underlying concept is the same thing. We will be testing an input, in this case the variable color, against multiple conditions, right? And if one of those conditions resolves to true, then the block of code associated to the case will be executed. If no condition has been met, then the default case, its block of code will be executed. In this case, it's just one line of code, right? So let's run this, right? So if we run this now, we expect, or we should expect to see this being outputted to the console, because color, okay, is our input. The first case checks if color, which is black, is equal to red. No, so we will skip this. The second case will check if color black equals to black. It is. So this line of code will be executed because we have our break statement. After the console.log, we will exit out of the switch statement. So we can actually verify that. So let's run this. And we get your favorite color is black. Okay? So there you go. That's another way of decision making and accounting for multiple conditions in your code. The first way is using the if statement. The second way is using the switch statement, right? So, okay. One thing to note here is that um, you may have a question, okay, like what if we didn't include the breaks, right? So this is a common mistake that people make. So the break statement is not required for you. When you're using a switch statement, you don't have to have a break statement in your cases, but the way your code executes might behave like unexpectedly. So what I mean is that okay, so if we, so I just removed the break statements from this switch statement. So now when I run this code, you'll see that yes, your favorite color is black will still be outputted to the console, but we will get a additional output of your favorite, or this, actually, this should actually be, I don't know what your favorite color is, because this is the default. Um, okay, but so like I was saying, without the break statement, we will be getting two constant logs for the switch statement. The first one will be your favorite color is black, and then the second one will be I don't know what your favorite color is. So let's actually prove this. So we get, like I told you, two console logs, right? Your favorite color is black. We expected that, but we didn't expect this second one here, which is I don't know what your favorite color is, right? And that's because without the break statement, um, the execution will continue on within the switch statement like as usual, right? As regular when you're running a code, it starts from top to bottom, line by line, right? Line by line. So what's happening here is that this condition is true, so we have a match because color black equals black. We output this code or this string to the console. Your favorite color is black, but there's no break statement, so we continue to the next line of code, which is the default case, and then we output to the console, I don't know what your favorite color is, right? So just keep in mind that the break statement is, while it's not required, if you don't include it in your switch statement and in the cases, the execution of code may behave unexpectedly, right? So let me just add it back, and now it should go back to just, whoops, did I not save console? Okay, yeah, now it's working. I was just confused because of this. Like I was getting your favorite color is black and your favorite color is black twice, but that's because of the if else if statement over here. So let me just remove or comment this out for now, so that we don't, so that I don't get confused anymore. Okay, so now we only get your favorite color is black printed out once, which we expect, and we're no longer getting I don't know what your favorite color is, because we have added again back the break statement. Okay, so this is the basic structure of the switch statement. Again, just to recap, we start with the switch keyword. We have our input, which in this case is the variable color, right? So this will be the value that we will be testing for in the conditions that we specify in the case statements, right? And the way we do that is within the body of the switch statement, right? So within the curly braces, we start defining our conditions by using the case keyword followed by the value that we want to test against or use as the condition checking for the input, right? So in this case, red. Then we have these colons, right? And then in the next line goes whatever code you want to be executed if a match occurs. And then we have the break statement, right? So in human language, this is like just saying, okay, um, if black is equal to red, then output your favorite color is red, and then exit out of the switch statement. If not, continue on to the next line of code. So if black, right? So if the color, the value of the color variable, which is black, equals to black over here, then just output a console, your favorite color is black, and then break, so exit out the switch statement. If no match has occurred, then carry on to the final case, or the default case in this case, and all we're going to do here is output I don't know what your favorite color is. Okay, so that is the switch statement. So like you can see, the structure of it is entirely different from the, whoops, let me comment to this stuff. Um, it's entirely different from the if else if statement, but the 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 purpose of it is the same, right? We want to have the ability to perform or to count for multiple um, conditions in our code instead of just one. So we could either use the if else if statement, or we can now, as you just saw, use the switch statement. Okay, so let me see if there's anything else that I'm hopefully not missing. I don't think so, but as always, if you guys prefer reading, There's also a article associated to this video that you can go through that will basically go through the same examples that we just went over. Um, so I will leave a link to this in the description of this video. Um, but yeah, with that being said, I just want to thank you guys for watching. This second video concludes, or with this second video, we are essentially um, done talking about or concluding our exploration of conditionals for now. um, and in the next video, we will be going over a very, very interesting topic, which is called, what's it called again? Loops. Right? So we will be going over in the next video, we will be talking about what loops are and why they're useful. Um, but until then, I just want to thank you guys for tuning back in, and hopefully this stuff was useful. Hopefully you understood um, what a switch statement is and why it's useful and how it can be used as an alternative to the if else if statement. But thank you guys again for watching my video, and I look forward to seeing you in the next video. Bye for now.